170. Wake your asses up. It's your favorite TIO Al Cintron, not on the fan. I'm here, TIO Al and Friends. I'm joined by my friends, mi amigos, Pete Kennedy and Anthony Gallo. What's up, fellas?
What up, Tio? It's beautiful to see your face this week.
Yes.
I gotta say.
I'm tired, bro. The station, and I'm just from other jobs. I'm just look at my bags, bro. Look at these fucking bags.
I'm gonna
bro.
start calling you No Al, Grandpa Al.
No, hey, you can call me that. Let me tell you right now. I see some of these motherfuckers in their 20s that look like they're in their 60s, bro. I'm good right now, bro. I'm good. So it is what it is. I'm just tired. I'm just grinding. You know the deal, Gallo. When you do the overnight shows as well. And then I not get any sleep. But hey, if it pays off at the end and I get a full-time gig, whether it's fan or someplace else, it was all worth it. So, by the way, did you know that the season's over today for the Mets?
Yeah, shame. It was a good one. You know what? It was good.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Juan Soto, overrated.
Yeah, I mean, what a waste of $800 million, huh? The season's over. The Mets suck. Clay Holmes is a disaster. The pitching lab sucks. Mark Vientos, sophomore, he's a bust. Why didn't Brett Beatty start? I mean, it's just. I saw you tweet, Gallo. You said, the Met fans or Met Twitters. First of all, I don't use Met Twitter anymore. The hashtag because it's a bunch of morons.
Yeah,
I hate to say it.
it.
Yeah, I don't hashtag it anymore because it's game one of 162. We had a great run last year, and right away, the first inning, I knew it. The negativity starts. So before we get into the game, I just want to say to those Met fans, I will not be engaging in that talk this year. I put the succulent dork in the grave because of what he did last season. I ended that. You all suck. You all can suck a fat one. You're always negative. And when the Mets are doing positive, you jump right back on the bandwagon like a porn star to gangbang. So that's the way you guys act. So, what did you guys think of the Mets today? It was not much until the end. I know Juan Soto struck out to Josh Hader. He just missed that one pitch. If it was a little lower, that shit would have been over the fence. But it was what it was. They're 0-1. The season's not over. What are your thoughts?
I mean, honestly, I came away from it with, for me, opening day, I don't really have a strong reaction. I will say this. Acuna looked really bad early. But you know what? For a young kid, at the end of the game, he made a couple plays. And that at bat against Josh Hader was impressive. And I didn't feel like the bats were quiet, but I felt like, Lindor started the game with a rocket caught by Jeremy Pena. I didn't feel like the approach was bad from anyone. The Jesse Winker pinch hitting part, but is it starting to sound bad again?
No, you're good. Just 1 second.
Okay, yeah. But no, I didn't feel like I felt the need. I thought Clay Holmes looked good. I think outside of that bad, at bat where he hit the guy, he gave up 2 runs realistically. The Acuna bad throw kind of cost him. I walked away, listen, I'm upset they lost. This is baseball. Every night the loss feels like the end of the world. But walking away from it objectively, it felt fine. I'm not upset. I think that, it's a grind, and they scored more runs today than they did last year on opening day.
Yeah. I have more sweat walking my dog tonight than I did watching that game. It's all right. It's all right. Listen, the Mets have been one of the best opening day teams in the history of opening day. And what has that led the Mets? 2 championships. It's all good, baby. We lost game 1 last year. Guess what? First time since 99 and 2000, the Mets have lost 2 opening days in a row. I mean, what did they do in 99 2000? Very damn competitive, made a damn World Series. I'm not worried. What really did frustrate me, however, though, because I do let Yankee fans get under my skins occasionally. I got a text in the 4th inning, the 5th inning.
Oh, God.
Oh, are you enjoying the Clay Holmes experience yet? Brother, can we relax? My guy pitched a decent game. It's opening day. It was his first start in how many years? 6 years? 7 years, maybe? Can we give the guy maybe a few more days in regular season baseball to get his bearings straight? And it's not like he got shelled. It's not like he gave up bomb after bomb. he was fine. In fact, he had moments that were better than fine. So to all the weirdo Yankee fans taking a victory lap, what are you celebrating? You're like the Nick Young meme, taking a jump shot, turning around like this. Like, yo, the ball didn't go in yet, brother. Stop overreacting to one game. We do this every year.
That's what they want.
Oh my God!
That's what they want. They want you to go crazy. You should ask him. Did you enjoy the Marcus Stroman experience? Ask him about that one, because we all know what's going to happen second half of the season when they need him to be legit because they don't have Garrett Cole or whatever. But they'll see how they enjoy him and his tattoos on his head in the second half of the season. I like that one, slap nuts. But it's just overreaction. It's the same old bullshit from baseball fans, from the Met fan base. They forget where we came from. It's only the first game of the season. Like, I love the jerseys, by the way. They're simple. They're simple, but they're clean, and I love it. I love those jerseys better than those blue jerseys that don't pop. I think next year they'll fix those jerseys as well. But I love the Cunha's at bat. He showed, because I saw Evan put out a tweet. Was he bored playing the field? So I tweeted back, was he bored? He didn't look bored in that at bat. That was a legit major league at bat. Was one of the best closes in the game. That bases loaded, no outs. Pete also, his discipline at the plate and that last at bat as well was solid throughout the game. The Mets are going to be fine. It's game 1 of 162. It just sucks because last year, Juan Soto threw out a home runner to end the game, to win the game for the Yanks. And then for the Mets this year, he struck out. But at the end of the day, Juan Soto's going to put up his 40 home runs, 100-some RBIs, and most likely be in the top 3 in MVP. So I ain't sweating it.
Yeah, and first of all, Ev says that we hate Pete Alonso. I think Evan hates Luis Angel Acuna. That's if we want to make false statements about people. I thought he made a bad throw. He bounced back very nicely. Like, pumping when Pete scooped that ball out of the ground. But hold on, I'm gonna mute myself real quick and change my mic. So hold on.
Yeah, I'll jump in though quickly, because another thing that's important to know on the Luis Angel Acuna thing, like we know he can play the field. We've seen him do it already. He's good. That was an uncharacteristic mistake for him. That was a relatively routine double play ball. Yeah, it was maybe a little bit quick of a turn. If we're going to sit here and worry about his defense, then we got it all wrong, because that's the thing that we actually could rely on. It's the offense that we're curious about. So to me, that was not something that I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, we can't put this guy back at second base now. We just can't do it. To me, that's a nonsense opinion.
Mm-hmm. And Brett Baty's going to actually be starting the next handful of games because it's all righties. So I'm like, I have a feeling Acuna's going to start this game. It's a lefty. It's the only time he can start. And then the lineup came out. I was pumped for him. You saw the fielding manager, whatever his name is, talking to him after that play. And then he bounced back. Vientos made the scoop bat throw to Acuna. Acuna got helped turn a double play. So he bounced back. So it's learning. These kids are going to learn. Everything's going to be fine. I'm not worried about it. If this was June and the Mets was sucking ass like last year, fine. But it's only one game. When I saw that tweet by Gallo, man, the old me would have went in. I just wrote morons, because that's it. That's what they are, morons.
Right. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. So what I was saying was, though, like, you guys are spot on. And we've talked about it in the past. Like, and this goes for both fan bases. We cannot do this day one with Acuna. Like, relax. He made some good plays. Like, he made a bad play, and it cost them. It did not cost them the game. They lost 3-1. They did not lose, 3-2, 4-3. They lost 3-1. It didn't cost them the game. And overall, Brazoban looked good. I felt they looked like a day one team. Even Juan Soto's at bat. It wasn't great. Like, it's funny because all I heard was you guys are going to get frustrated with him when he walks in a big at bat. And I was like, you know what? I would have taken the walk there. It felt like he wanted to win the game. And it's okay. That's what happens. It's day one. He got hyped up. I don't expect him to get out of his approach and get away from what makes him special. And I would have loved to see Pete get up with a chance to give them the lead or tie the game. But it's, day one. I can't overreact. And I expect these little things to be ironed out. And also, you know what? If Acuna fails early on or Baty fails early on, that's what they're up right now for, is to earn the job. And I got to be honest, whoever plays better, that's who I want to play second base. I'm not giving up on Acuna after one bad play when he probably had the best at bat of the day.
Yeah, how about the if you're gonna kill him for this game, how about the 14 games he filled in for Lindor down the stretch in a pennant race? How about those games? Oh, but we forget because we're dumbass Met fans. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, it's true. And also, if you think about the makeup of this team, we spoke about it, all off season leading up to this moment right here. All the national media, all the local media, everyone kind of agreed. The offense is the strength and the pitching staff is the question mark, right? They scored 1 run. So if we're going to sit here and crush Clay Holmes or Acuna for bad defensive play, the offense has to be better, right? If we give up 3 runs a game as fans, we should be looking at that and be happy, right? That's a good thing. The offense didn't come around today. Framber Valdez is a good-ass pitcher. This guy's been out here doing this, making people look silly with all that crazy movement he puts on the ball. So, that's okay. The offense has to be better. They will be better. And Juan Soto getting a hit in his first at-bat felt fantastic, and you wanted to see some momentum. Even Lindor's first at-bat of the game smokes a line drive. Pena jumps in the midair and makes an amazing catch. So it just nothing clicked perfectly right here in game 1. But if you look at the strengths of this team, it's still on the offensive side. It's just super easy after 1 game of 1-run baseball to be like, oh my gosh, is this offense broken? Is this offense going to work? Is this lineup as good as we thought it is? Right now, we only have a 1-game sample size, but we will have more opportunities for this team to show what they're really made of.
Right.
Heck, is that a clip you got for Soto? Are we allowed to play that?
Yeah. I'm muted right now. I'll start it from the beginning.
All right, let's hear what Juan Soto had to say after the game.
No, we've been having overall one. I mean, you've been on different teams before where you've had your first game, but what was the general experience putting on the Mets uniform for the first time for real?
For us, I was expecting to win the game, but definitely, it's not how we want it. Sometimes the game, they are a really good team over there, and they come in and grind. For me, it's a good experience. These guys are amazing. We've been having a good time since spring training, so we just got to bring that all the way.
Overall,
Yeah, and that's fine. Of course, it's natural your first game to want to play the hero, especially when you did it last year for the other team in town. When you were the hero, throwing a guy out the plate, hitting a home run, I think he hit in his first game. You were the man that first game, so you want to show the Mets, hey, I can do the same thing for you. But at the end of the day, Juan Soto is going to come through more times than not. As a Met, he's here for the next 5 to 15 years. For any Met fan, and you know who you dumbasses are, and I don't care because I'm sick of it. You're the same pathetic idiots that say, I love the Mets. I'm ready for the Mets. Let's go opening day. And then the minute somebody strikes out, oh, fuck them. And this is example number 1 right here, this schmuck. Yeah,
I can't stand him, dude.
I know some people love him and support him and whatever. I think he's bad for the fan base. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a bad representation of the fan base. And we have more people that act like that than are decent and normal and can rationalize. It's only game 1 as opposed to it's not game 7 of the World Series.
Right. I'm not overly, and I'm always this way. Even if I don't think they're going to be a good team, like last year, I'm pretty sure both of you, I had separate conversations where I was like, not really worried. Like I usually use middle of June as my demarcation of where this team is at. And even then, if they're close, I'm not really sitting there freaking out. Things bother me. Every night is a roller coaster. But then after a couple, an hour after the game, today, opening day, it's just, I'm happy to be here. And as far as Yankee fans or other fans making fun of the Mets, what bothers me more is the Met fan base, which every game they have to find something to be miserable. Coming into the season, everyone has to find something to be miserable about. And it's we can't even allow this team to take the field before we want to be mad. Lindor said what he said about Acuna. That's a proper leader. Acuna's a young player. He's learning. If he said it about anyone else, they're all learning. And also, you could take what Lindor said about Acuna multiple ways. I kind of thought he meant, Acuna came up in the middle of a pennant race, played in the postseason, and spring training there's not that hype that is there at the moments he was there. Also, it's okay to call out a player for being lazy or sleepwalking through spring training. I got to be honest, I don't care about spring training. Brett Beatty hit Babe Ruth in spring training. If he doesn't hit during the regular season, that's what I care about. I don't care if he took spring training serious or not. But it is another thing too is we have to get used to Soto's going to get booed in every park. We are now
Good. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have expectations and people are going to target the team. And that's what happens. It's the same thing with the Knicks. The Knicks went from feel-good story to kind of disliked by a lot of NBA fans. And that's okay. I've been waiting to be here. I'm happy to be here. I'm the head of the Player Haters Club. Let's get the hate going.
Yeah. It's like, welcome to the big leagues of fandom. Right, that's what it comes down to, right? Right now in the chat, right here, as the chat put up some great comments so far here. When this TIO Al Friends podcast blows up to the moon, we're gonna have haters in the chat. That's okay. Come on in, send us the hate. We can handle it, just like the Mets fans should be able to, just like Knicks fans have been dealing with to a different level of success. Some Knicks fans are still really, not handling the spotlight great just yet, and Mets fans won't either. Yankee fans hardly handle it, and they're in the spotlight every year. They can't even handle it. So it's all good.
Hey, I'm gonna get into them in a little bit. I did it on the show. I'm gonna do it again here. I'll get into those fucking, and I use the words I want to use, fucking idiots later. But go ahead, Pete. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's really it, though. I was surprised. I want to ask you guys about that because I turned the game on. I'm listening. I got the volume up at work, and I hear the boos for Soto. I go, damn, Houston really. I know he hit a couple home runs in the World Series a few years back. That's a while ago. They hate him like that. Is that a Mets thing? Is there Yankee fans in Houston right now? What's going on? Do you think that for sure, Gallo? You think he's going to get extra boos at every place this year? Like, why does Arizona care if they have any fans there anyway?
If you think about it in this sport specifically, because there's no cap, exactly what Tio's doing. Everyone hates I think it happens in European soccer. Right. I just think people that were booing him might actually like him, but he got paid.
Right.
All they heard about baseball fans, if it wasn't Ohtani, it was Juan Soto. And right now, Ohtani is MJ. He could do no wrong in the eyes of most fans. He could gamble. Similar aspect here, a lot of gambling. You know what I mean? MJ, Ohtani. But he could do whatever he wants. And no one's going to hate him. And Juan Soto is an easy target right now. I don't think that he's disliked like in a way like LeBron James or A-Rod are disliked. I just think that he's going to show up at the ballpark and fans, like I do it too. Like when I show up, I want to boo the other team. I'm going to find a guy and I'm going to boo him. I think he's going to be that guy for early on at least. And he's going to go to Yankee Stadium. They're going to be horrendous to him. And you know what? I think he's prepared for that. I think he even said something like, when they booed him in spring training, he's like, well, you never know with the Yankee fans. And it was a respectful comment. And I do think that he's going to get crushed a little bit, no matter, at least early on.
Yeah. It's just, I think he's going to get booed everywhere he goes as well. It could be because he's a former Yankee. And if you listen to some Yankee fans, they're still butthurt months later. You would think he was a homegrown Yankee. Some of the hot takes, or more like shit takes, and that still dwelling on and mocking Juan Soto being a Met and blah 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 blah. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, Juan Soto's a Met. Get over it. It's not going to be the last time a Yankee becomes a Met. So get used to that. And if you have any players worth a damn that we want at free agent, Steve Cohen's going to go get them, and that's that. Well, my whole thing with today is it's game 1 of 162. Can we just take a deep breath? Can we just relax? It is what it is. We'll see what happens tomorrow. By the way, the game's on Apple TV. That's tomorrow's game. And then Saturday's game is on Fox. So you get Gary, Keith, and Ron for one day, and then they're off for the next 3 days. So it's wonderful.
Is Fox?
Sorry, guys. Just want to say we got Anthony Rivera backstage. Dexter just texted me saying that he's coming on, so Dexter will be on in a minute. We have over 120 people rocking out with us. If you guys can, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button. We need to get the sponsorships up, all right? We need more chapstick sponsors for our guy Gallo. We need some Guinness. We need some Guinness sponsors for Pete Kennedy, and we need some barber soap for my guy TIO Al because TIO Al got the pain in the knees. All right, guys, keep cooking. I'm gonna bring up
Thanks, Barbasol. Kiss my fucking Puerto Rican ass.
Love you too.
Kiss my Puerto Rican ass. Where's Ant? He's popping in. What's up, Ant?
Yo, what's up?
What'd you think of today's game?
Well, I mean, we're going 0-162, right? Like that's what's the plan right now is 0-162. That's what it feels like. I don't know if you guys had any hard time trying to watch the game, but I have the SNY subscription MLB.TV, and it did not work for the first 3 or 4 innings. So I missed pregame. I missed all the festivities. I hope
What
they
the
have a
fuck?
refund coming my way.
I saw a lot
It
of that on
happened
Twitter.
across all of MLB.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
was working.
So if you use the app, it didn't work. I didn't even realize it because I used my laptop to use MLB TV. I have cable still. I am an ancient person. I still use cable.
And you be calling Al old, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I still have cable. I still have cable, bro. I still have cable.
So I watched on SNY and my buddy's freaking out. Like, I can't get the game on. But I was like, dude, my MLB TV's working. I'm using it on my laptop. So I went online and I saw everyone freaking out. Bad job by MLB and bad job. I don't even think it's SNY's fault. I think it's MLB.TV's fault.
Yeah, it's MLB's fault. And like, out of all days, opening day, like, am I going to get like something for that? Like, for you guys messing up opening day for absolutely everybody across the country? Like, something's got to give.
Yeah, no, they're not going to give anything. Too bad they're not linked with a sports book. You can get like a $5 bonus bet or something. You know what I mean? That's the new currency of life. It's like, what are you going to do? I'm going to get my health insurance with DraftKings next year. I think, every time I go to the doctor, I get a bonus bet.
You're going to get a $5 gift card to Fanatics to buy the jerseys that haven't been listed yet.
Oh my gosh. Now I got to say though, I'm the true, young person here because I have my parents, my father and mother-in-law, I have their direct TV stream. Don't tell anybody if they're listening, but I get locked into them. I get SNY through that. So I was tapped in today. Not a worry in the world for me watching the Mets or Yankees.
But and I don't know if you saw in the chat, and I put the link for those people because a lot of people in our Met chat couldn't get on. So I sent them the link, and they were able to watch the game.
No, yeah, I wasn't able to get into any of that stuff, and I just listened to it on the radio for the first couple of innings. Listened to Howie and Keith do their thing on the radio, and I want to say frustrating game, but like, what are you gonna do? I mean, Clay Holmes, what was it, 4 2/3 innings pitch?
Yeah,
he wasn't awful, but it wasn't the guy we saw in spring either. So it's just like, all the hype that we had seeing him.
Probably nerves.
I agree.
And you froze.
Yeah, I think Ant froze. Oh, there you
go.
Yeah,
there you go.
That was me.
Yeah, you froze. Yeah.
Okay,
you good.
I think MLB heard you attacking their stream and then they wanted to freeze you out, bro. That was it. MLB, Rob Manfred.
Oh man, this felt just like a typical Mets game, right? Like, of course, in the 9th, bases loaded, nobody outs. They give you that, that little hope at the end there, and then with Soto, that everybody was hoping for Soto to fail in that point and to send all the messages out, and they did. I saw them. I saw your cohort, Keith McPherson, post his stuff already.
You're really trying. You guys are really trying to trigger me, huh? Like you're really trying to trigger me because, well, let's fucking get into it. Fuck it. The whole thing where the Mets have a gimmick, everything's gimmicky. Grimace, the Hakutua, OMG. And my point on the show was my show this morning, and you can catch on the Odyssey app on the rewind. Is the Yanks have a bunch of over the hill fat fucks doing YMCA dance for like 3-4 decades, correct? They have the judges chamber where they give out costumes, right? Correct? They do the PC Richards whistle, correct? Now that for Luke Weaver, they have the Star Wars Luke, I am your father breathing. This is not gimmicky.
That stupid 2-strike.
Yeah. And then let's not forget the same guy who started for the Mets, Clay Holmes, when he was the closer for the Yankees, they stole the Mets shit to do the same thing for Clay Holmes when he came out the bullpen. Yeah. So if you're gonna have an argument, whoever it is, I don't care who it is, this is make sure your argument, you say both sides or keep it a buck because the Yankees have a lot of gimmicky shit too. Remember Cotton Eye Joe? Remember that stupid shit at Yankee Stadium? That was the worst shit I ever saw in my life. But that was gimmicky. They did the same old bullshit. So cut the crap, Yankee fans. You're just mad because the Mets are all about family. Steve Cohen, Alex Cohen, it's all about family. It's about keeping the parents in the seats and keeping the kids in the seats because parents have a hard time at the baseball games keeping kids in the seats. The kids want to go walk around the stadium. That's why they have the batting cage and they have the video game lounge, the dunk tank. But for the parents, it's not, that want to watch the game. They do these things between the innings to keep the kids interested, and you grow the fan base that way. You fucking jackasses.
Hey, I was at the What's New at Citi Field on Tuesday, and they got a lot of cool stuff coming our way at the games. I mean, the Queens crew, you got them dancing in between innings. You got Mr. and Mrs. Met walking around. You got a lot of good things that are happening at Citi Field, like you said, Al, just to keep everyone entertained the whole entire time. Because what happens when you go to games, right? You start walking around, you start going to eating food, and by the end of it, you're watching the game around the 6th, 7th inning. So, this is something that will keep everybody moving, keep everybody entertained. They had the 5 boroughs race, which is pretty funny to see.
Fire.
So, yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
What's wrong with that? We've been honoring the Brewers doing that for years. We've been loving everyone else. We Sports Center top 10 twice a week. The freaking Brewers race.
Washington, did you see that slice of pizza? That was authentic looking.
Hey, fellas, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to chime in. It's a great conversation, but we got another guest. We got our good friend Dexter Henry that's backstage. My favorite mascot is the dead ass giraffe that they got for the Bronx. His mean face. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Is it a strung out giraffe from the Bronx? Is the giraffe strung out?
You could be nice. Be nice. All right, Al, be nice.
What's up, Dex?
What's up, guys?
No, we're talking about the whole. First of all, let's ask you what do you think about today's game, and then I will ask you the second question. What do you think about the game today?
Well, first of all, in the most
you sound far away. You sound far away.
Hold on, it might be my mic. My mic might not be connected. Hold on, let me.
Come on, Mr. SNY. Come on.
I don't work out of there anymore. But yes. Hold on a second. I see what happened. I see.
All right, you got the hat on. That's why the mic's not working. He's got the frequencies messed up with the Liverpool hat.
How's it now, guys?
It's good. Yeah,
perfect.
I didn't have my mic. First of all, can we talk about the nonsense that happened with the MLB app?
Today? Man, we were just doing
we just did. Yeah.
I get home, I pick up my daughter. I want to sit down and put on the Met game, right? And I'm looking to log in, and I can't do it. I found out this is all over the country. Terrible look. Terrible.
It's par for the course with broadband for the MLB. It's par for the course.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong about that, right? Like, this is, MLB needs to move forward in the future, and they can't get streaming right.
But if I may, I gotta say this because I hear what everyone's saying. I was lucky to have my stream be fine with DirecTV or whatever I was on.
Stealing.
I was, but that's okay. Someone's paying for it. I'm just using it. But every single year, week 1 of the NFL, every single year, week 1, logging into Red Zone is a nightmare on the NFL app, and logging into NFL app on Sunday, week 1, is a nightmare. So I don't want to throw baseball completely into the graveyard just yet with their streaming issues on day 1, because I swear this happens to me every week 1 with NFL. So I don't think it's just them. I think it's just a lot of people trying to jump in, trying to sign at the same time. I ain't a tech guy, but maybe give them a little bit of a break.
SNY was a problem too because they sent out the whole how to if you're if you have the TV provider, do it this way. I just got a subscription because I don't have cable. And I can look at it on my phone. I can look at it on my computer, both SNY. But when it comes to the TV, there's no option for SNY. And I don't know if I could watch the game.
Yes.
It said I was blacked out today. And I'm like, I got a subscription. What's going on?
Yeah, it said the same for me.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Yeah. I had the same problem, man. It was incredibly frustrating. I basically didn't start watching the game, I think, till the bottom of the 5th inning was when I finally was able to watch. Yeah, so I missed most of the game. Now I didn't.
You caught the Mets offense. You were just in time for the Mets. You caught the Mets offense in the 8th and 9th.
Just in time. Yeah. I didn't miss too much, but still was frustrating, man. Well,
you guys call me old, Anthony Gallo. But I stick to the old school, baby. Cable.
I still got cable.
Wait,
It's there.
you still have cable?
Yeah, and I
got
had
cable for like 2 more
You
weeks.
are old.
and in our chat, in the Met chat that we have on Twitter, I sent a link that you can watch the game. I sent a link where you can watch the game, and everybody was able to watch the game on there.
Allegedly.
No, the chat says it right
I'm
there.
helping you out, Al. Allegedly.
Oh yeah, allegedly.
Al finally got it. He finally got it.
Yeah, my bad. Allegedly. Yeah.
My thoughts on the game. I mean, like, look, it's opening day, right? Like, Holmes was, one back look. He had 4 walks today, right? So a little bit shaky in terms of his control. The Mets had chances. They left a lot of guys on base. In this one, however, I think you would probably like, particularly what you saw in the 8th inning with guys being able to get on and take pitches. I think that's encouraging. You want to see that kind of patience from the team going forward. I'm sure that's something we'll talk about, but it's one game. The Mets fans are spoiled because, they have the best record in opening day in all baseball, right? For all time. So, but yeah, like, it was fine. Juan Soto gets a hit in his first at bat, which I missed. Thanks, MLB. But it's fine. It's one of 162. One thing I'm not going to do, and Anthony, you know this because Anthony, you and I talked so much last year through this, and we did so many videos together, where it was like in May we were like blow this team up, and look at what happened. So
that was actually the turning point of the season. That show was the turning point. The was it Jose Lopez?
Yeah,
or Jorge Lopez?
I had you on after that. I did.
Yeah.
I did. We're not taking credit for it, but it was a turning point for sure.
No. It's just one game. It's just the frustrating thing is like we've seen this like same behavior from this Mets team where they're walking a lot of batters. We know they're going to give up the runs. Here comes the late rally, but we know it's going to come up just short. It's the same formula every year that they have to kind of get out of that funk. And we all talk about not having an ace. I mean, look at what not having a guy like Framber Valdez does. I mean, the guy pitched 7 innings. I think he threw like 80 pitches. That's why you need to have an ace in your staff. Yeah, it's cool to have a guy like Clay Holmes and the rest of these guys that, a whole lot of depth. But, are we going to see Tyler McGill go 5-6 innings tomorrow? I doubt it. And you're going to get into the bullpen again. Shout out to Huascar Brazaban, who came in and almost 2 1/3 innings and pitched very well. And also, I know he had an error earlier on in the game, a big error that gave up a run. But for Luis Angel Acuna to bounce back on a nice defensive play following that, as well as that 9th inning at bat against a hater of all people, I think that's a positive sign. So I try to take some of the positives out of this game. Juan Soto's not going to win every at bat, and you could see it in slow motion. That slider was wicked. He went a little bit Pete Alonso and swung for the fences there and missed it. But the one concern I would have is that Mark Vientos seems to be swinging like Pete Alonso, and I don't need 2 of those guys in the lineup doing that stuff. He's got to start laying off of that. He just does.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is this is a question for everybody here. It's early on. We know the rotation this is not the rotation. How long does it concern you, even if Manaea comes back, if the starting pitching cannot get through 5-6 innings consistently? I'm not saying all 5 of them, but if it's going to be this dragged out, they're throwing, it feels like a Noah Syndergaard start where they have 80 pitches going into the 4th inning. Like, when do you start to be concerned about the pitching staff?
It's a big concern if it happens throughout the month, is it not? Because this is what happened last year. They didn't get through 3, 4, 5 innings. So we saw Reed Garrett get thrown out there day after day, night after night. And by the time it got to May, we couldn't use him anymore because he was overexerted. And then the rest of the bullpen stunk. And then they had to retool by the time they got to the trade deadline, which, then helped the team. But still, by then, they overused, what's his name, heading into the playoffs.
Budo.
Budo they overused, but
Nunez,
but Maton. You know how
Maton, he was drained.
Yeah, he was drained. That they have to avoid that stuff. Like it's cool getting all these pitchers and trying out the lab, but you do need guys to go 5-6 innings at the very least.
So yeah, I'd be concerned if this goes on into late May. then I start to be concerned. Like the beginning of the season, everybody knows they don't do it like they used to. Framber Valdez was the exception, 7 innings, whatever he did. They don't do it like they used to. So if you're the first month of the season, you can see guys go 5+. I just don't want to see the same guy back to back to back out the bullpen in April. It's going to be a problem. That guy's not going to make it through the season. But if we get to the end of May and we're still having guys 5 innings and the bullpen is getting, taxed, it's going to be a big, big problem for this team.
Yeah, I'm with Al on this. For me, it's always that mid to end of May. Get me to Memorial Day, and I really like to evaluate. It'll be a problem, though. I will say what Anthony's saying, though. If you're starting to see guys at the end of this month of April where they're just going 5 innings, I'm already going to start to be concerned. I won't really be concerned until the end of May because, you want to give a chance for Manaea and, to come back. But, look, I still think – I guess what we're all kind of dancing around here is at some point they're going to need to go out and upgrade this rotation and get an ace. If you truly want to compete for a World Series, like, are you winning it with this rotation? I'd say no, right? Like, it's a nice story. We like to root for these guys, but you need a guy out there who you can give the ball and say, yeah, I trust him in game 1 or game 5 of a series, like, to go get this win. And I mean, shit, just to get you through the season, right? Like, you're on a 3-game skid. Who's going to be this? Who's the stopper on this team? I'd like to think Senga could be that guy if he pitches up to his capability, but
got to stay healthy. Yep,
you got to stay healthy. We haven't seen that, so I think it's one of the most important things to watch with the Mets in the first couple of months of the season.
I got the 2 names before you jump in, Pete. 2 guys. One, he pitched today against the Mets. If the Astros are shit candidate, they're gonna look to move him to get what they can get for him. And 2, because I don't think they paid Framber, correct? He's a free agent after the year, I believe. I believe he's a free agent. I could be wrong. And 2 is, I don't care how you say his last name, Sandy Alcantara. That is the guy, the perfect guy to go get. If he's healthy, the Marlins will look to give him away just for prospects to save more payroll, you cheap sons of bitches. And that is the guy to go get to put in the top of his rotation, Sandy Alcantara.
Yeah, and Framber is just 1 year. He's unrestricted free agent next year, so you're spot on with
yes.
that, Al.
Yep, those are the 2.
Dexter, you just said it. He's kind of the outlier, Framber, right? He's not one of these guys who relies on 99, 101. That's not what his game is. It's movement, it's location, it's easy pitching when you're watching him. And, obviously us as New Yorkers, we're watching him every single start. But when you see him, it gives you a little bit of a taste of the old school. And Ken made a great point in the comments here. I know we keep saying it. We sound like a broken record. It's game 1, right? But the truth is that all pitchers across the league, I shouldn't say all, but 90-95% of starters across the league are not going to stretch out. How many times do you hear in the first 2 weeks? Yeah, we got a pitch limit of 75 today. Yeah, we got a pitch limit of 85 today. And then maybe in the end of April into May, you can see a guy hit 100 for the first time. I mean, it's a different world. It's a different league. And the way pitchers are throwing so damn hard right now, and bullpens are coming in throwing so damn hard right now, some people are more afraid to lean on the guys that are location based. But I do think this team has that in them. I think if Clay Holmes actually hits, a stride a little bit and avoids the walks, he could be a consistent 6-inning guy. I think that's realistic. I think today was promising for that. And the same thing I think for Peterson as well. Like, these are not guys who are coming in with ultimate usage level pitches. They're not throwing 100 over and over and over again where they're killing themselves. So I think that the Clay Holmes and Peterson of it all make a lot of sense for those guys who can be 6. We grew up with pitchers who, they were the 3rd in the rotation, but they were inning eaters. The idea of an inning eater is so hard to come by in today's day and game. So I think if the Mets can find a balance, like, Senga might not be the guy to go 7 or 8 all the time, but if he can give you 6 incredibly solid innings, and then those other guys can sneak into the 7th, and maybe their ERA won't be 2.8, 3.2, 3.3. It might be 3.9. It might be 4.1. But if they're eating innings, that math is mathing for the New York Mets. Because as we said before, when it comes down to their strengths, they're going to score runs, or they're going to have to score runs to win games. So over the first month, we'll see if some of these guys start stretching out, and you hear about the 100-pitch starts, the 110-pitch starts, and then we can really evaluate what this rotation is going to be.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, Pete, I grew up in a time where the pitcher actually pitched the first inning to the 9th inning complete games. I'm just saying.
Well, we know that you saw Walter Johnson pitch.
That was before cable even existed, I think.
I actually have the ticket stub to Walter Johnson's debut.
To also wrap that up too, my thing is honestly, I'd be more concerned even if they're struggling to get through the fifth, I'd be more concerned about the walks. Last year, walks killed us, and I think it was more of a starting rotation thing. And Clay Holmes struggles with that at times. He had one of those walks was a hit by pitch, and I think he was up 1-2 in that count. So it wasn't like he was like that batter got away from him. But if they were like, if they're just getting, beat sometimes, like fine. But if they're walking guys where it's self-inflicted, that would concern me more. And I'm not really worried about Senga. He didn't have arm issues last year. And when he was healthy, he was pitching at a Cy Young level, like from May on. And I do trust Peterson. I do think that even before they make a trade, they should allow Brandon Sproat to get a shot in the rotation. Or Tidwell, like who I wasn't really high on, but spring he pitched really well. I would like to see those guys get chances before they decide to go out and chase, Sandy Alcantara. And like I love him. Like I think he's great. He also is coming off an injury, and we don't know what he's going to be.
It's very true. Good point.
And prior to that injury, he was struggling. I think it was early in last year. So, or maybe it was the year prior. I don't know. I forgot which year he was at his top. And then I do love Framber Valdez. I mean, I would be all for that, even if they made that trade today. I feel like he's a safe. For me, pitching today is safe. Like, as long as you're not like, I didn't want to overspend on big aces, but I want safe starting pitching. Like, I'd rather have a rotation of 3 number 3s than do what we did 2 years ago and put all our money in Scherzer and DeGrom, and we only get 15 starts out of them.
Yeah, but you know that this, the way Stearns is running things, he's not gonna. If he's gonna get a guy, he's gonna go for a guy in his prime, right? You bring up a good point though, Anthony, about Alcantara, because we still don't know what he is coming off this injury. He is cost controlled. That's the one good thing. He's on a really good contract, so if they get him, that'll help. But I hear your point about it's nice when you have a whole bunch of number 3s, but I still feel like you need that dog, that ace that's gonna push you. Now, maybe that comes from one of the young guys, and I like what you're saying. Maybe they bring up Sproat, maybe they bring up Tidwell and give him a shot. Do you do that if it's around the question that's been asked here? If you get to the end of May and either of those guys are pitching good in the minors, do you then bring them up then and say, hey, is that the time to do it? Is that too much pressure on them? Like, that's going to be an interesting question then. Like, if these guys are not giving you the innings that you want, do you then try to turn to the kids and say, hey, can you find a spark? Now, one thing I will also add too before I open up to you guys, Stearns, and Anthony and I talked about this a lot last year. I love the fact that Stearns is like, hey, if somebody's not working, all right, we're going to move on to the next. That's something I've really liked. I've really enjoyed that accountability and watching that around the team. So it's like, all right, if you're not getting it done, we're gonna get this thing moving. And if it's a kid, we'll do it. Christian Scott came up last year, right? So we could see that. Maybe that's the way the Mets go about this before they go in on a trade. Maybe that's the right way. I don't know.
The thing I will say about Sandy real quick is that you look at Jazz Chisholm. He's playing in front of 12 fans. Playing for the Marlins like playing in the cemetery. It's a graveyard. It's dead. You bring a guy like that to New York City Field with the team that we have, all the Latinos in the clubhouse, the energy in that clubhouse. That dude will thrive in that atmosphere as long as he stays healthy. He will thrive.
I'd like to move.
I think to what Dexter was saying too, and I've said this multiple times on Subway to Shea, I feel like we are going to be going the same route as bringing up Christian Scott, the same way we're going to be doing with Brandon Sproat. At some point, we will see him, I feel like, in either May or June, especially if he's pitching well in AAA. And that's like that's the first trigger, right? That's the first one. And if he doesn't work out, just like Christian Scott didn't work out, then they move in a different direction. He obviously got hurt, but there is that accountability. And I think because of that, because of David Stearns and Carlos Mendoza holding the players accountable, and oh my goodness, Adrian Hauser just got released. I got to watch out for my back and my job now and pitch better. And you start seeing these guys playing a whole lot better. They get rid of Brett Beatty and they bring up Mark Vientos. And then here comes Jose Iglesias. And I can't believe they just released Jorge Lopez for just throwing up his glove. And then things start changing around the team. So I feel like that helps to a certain point. And we will see, how this rotation works out. I'm not going to say that I am thrilled with the Griffin Canning, even though he had a great spring.
Mhm.
But he's going to have a lot to prove. I think he's going in game 3 of this series as well. I
Yep.
think it's McGill and then him, right? Canning. Okay, so this is a big test for these guys. We've seen what Clay Holmes did during spring training, and it's obviously it's against a lot of the minor leaguers and guys who are not going to play on this team. Now he got a taste of what it was like to pitch against a more elite type of lineup in the Houston Astros, and he did pretty decently outside of that error that it should have really been 2-1, but the Acuna error made it 3-1, and we'll see what happens.
Pete?
Man, yeah, I feel like we said it all, man. Is it time to talk about that other team over here?
Oh, jeez. Do we have to do it? I mean, this is what I meant to ask you, because I asked Ant the same thing. All this stuff that the Mets are catching flack for because gimmicky stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Did the Yankee fans? I brought it up. Did they seem to forget the YMCA, the judges' chamber? They got the Luke, I am your father, heavy breathing when Luke Weaver's got 2 strikes in the pitch. They did the Cotton Eye Joe bullshit back in the day. They did the subway races as well on the big screen at Yankee Stadium. Yankee fans have selective memory. There's a lot of Yankee fans. Not you, Heck. You're right, dumbass, with your anime. I'm just fucking with you.
Anime always comes in space, bro.
With your Barbasol comment. Yeah, but I mean, is it unnecessary? Isn't it unnecessary for Yankee fans to keep trying to take shots at the Mets when they're just trying to do stuff that keeps the family and the kids involved?
Yeah, I mean, it's unnecessary. I don't think the Mets stuff they've been doing or the things they've announced for this year, I don't think it's gimmicky. Like, I like the Borough subway race. I think that's dope. I heard you guys talking about it right before I hopped on. I think that's dope. I think, look, what I'm about to say is probably going to annoy some people. I think there's a lot of Yankees fans who are still salty. Let's just keep it a buck. Like, they're still salty because and what I haven't liked, and there's been some people who are like, they're trying to act like they're bigger than it, and it doesn't matter. That's annoyed me. I've seen that as some people, even some people who we know in sports media, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
it's okay. We can say that it clearly hurts you because you talk about it all the time. Like, we can see it. It hurts because you talk about it all the time. But I think they're mad about that, and there's a energy around the Mets fan base that I think is. Mets fans have always been optimistic, right? But also sort of been heartbroken and tough losses and things.
And negative.
Hopeless romantic.
But now there's an energy of optimism because they got Soto and who they took Soto from. And all the fans from the other team in New York, they are bothered by that positive energy. And see, the way I operate in my life that I do not understand is, why are you mad at somebody else being happy? Why does that make you mad? Why does that make you mad? If you're over there doing your thing, Al, and you're happy and Pete's doing their thing, I'm not mad at you. I'm happy that you were enjoying your blessings. I'm not going to be what we call that as a hater. Sounds like a lot of hateration. That's what
I'm mad. I'm mad when forget a hot take, when it's a shit take. That's what gets me upset. It's just a shit take. It's clickbait. It's bullshit. It is what it is. Let's call it what it is. It's disgusting bullshit. You got nothing better to talk about. It's the same fans that say, oh, we don't need Juan Soto, but then they're still talking about him 4 months later. I mean, give me a fucking break. There was an idiot who took a picture at Yankee Stadium. He wore a Soto jersey, but it says sellout on the back. Let me ask you a question, dumbass. Mark Teixeira, Tino Martinez, Kevin Brown, Mike Messina, Jason Giambi, Alex Rodriguez. Suck a fat one. Well,
I will say this, and I know I always come off as like a Yankee apologist. I do not think it's the entire fan base. I'm going to shout out someone, and we know this guy. I don't know if Ant knows this guy, but we know this guy. He's a closeted Met fan. My guy, Rami. The younger Yankee fan does not operate like that. They've also haven't seen the amount of winning that Yankee fans my age and older, the 30-plus Yankee fan has seen. I do think a lot of them act like they're above it. And I do think it's fun. You don't want to have fun, that's fine. You want your guys to look like baby-faced assassins, that's okay. I like the scruffy look. You know what Johnny Damon was more attractive to me? The one that looked like Jesus.
Yeah,
let's be honest. And it's okay. It's okay to have fun. and this doesn't just go for Yankee fans. This goes for my least favorite thing about Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, is when something gimmicky or fun happens and grown men who it's not the target audience for come on and cry about it. Listen, another thing, All-Star games. This is a group of guys right here. They're not caring about us for the All-Star game. So move on. Pete Rose is not tackling the catcher anymore. Kobe Bryant isn't throwing bows at Michael Jordan. It sucks, but move on. It's okay.
I agree.
It's passed up for us. And I got to be honest, I saw the 5-borough race and I was excited, dude. Like the ferry, that looks like the Staten Island ferry. I know Pete knows what's up.
Shout out.
The giraffe
Staten Island gets mentioned. We got to get hyped.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah. And if there's one thing the Mets need to do, if they want to lean into the gimmick, either the giraffe or the ferry needs to be last every single race.
The giraffe. They
got to put Tim's on somebody. One of them wearing Tim's.
Yes.
They got to be great. They got to do that.
But I got 2 texts today from 2 different group chats, and I think they were being a little tongue-in-cheek joking around when Devin Williams gave up the first run for the Yankees. And they're like, oh, this guy was worried about his beard. He's not locked in on the mound. And I'm like, bro, you can't be serious. And again, I'm hoping, maybe I'm just being optimistic again, that my friends were just joking around in the group chat, just throwing out some random stuff for laughs. But like, there were people who were seriously like, oh, this Devin Williams guy hasn't given up a run in years. Wow. Look at him now. He's got a beard. He's not locked in. It's ridiculous. Like, this stuff to me is so simple. It is to create an experience. It is to have fun. This is why we go to games. If you want entertainment. If you want to pretend that it's cool for your sports team playing a game is business-like, have fun on your own time. I don't care about your business-like team over here. They haven't won anything. So if they're all business, their business is not working. So I don't want to hear all this crap. Oh, yeah, we're the professional franchise. We're not like the gimmicky losers over in Queens. Get out of here, dude. Every team's been doing this. The Braves had the Frozone guy running, racing people in the outfield.
Washington,
they won a World Series, and they were fantastic. Who cares they did a race during freaking 6th inning? Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter.
What? Somebody could sit there and say they're the professional team and all this other stuff, and the Mets fan is just going to come back and say, we are the team that's gimmicky, but we got Juan Soto. That's what they're going to say. And that's it. And you know what? I understand it hurts them. Look at this right here. The Mets, it's awesome.
It's Come so on. Bad. It's so good. It's bad. I mean, so bad. It's good.
I can't wait for my daughter. I can't wait for my daughter to see this at the game. She's gonna totally enjoy this. That giraffe walks like he's from the Bronx.
That giraffe is strung out. What they need to do is, if you really want to have fun with this, let it be a legit race and let's gamble on it. FanDuel, DraftKings, you want to make it fun? Gamble on it. Let's go.
You don't think they're gambling on this outside the stadium at those chop shops for the one more year that they're there? It's happening. And I got to be honest, and I know Dexter knows this too. It's an American sport. We live in America. I watch European soccer. The atmosphere is great. They think mascots are stupid. They think dance teams are stupid. Well, you know what? I love the sport. I also like the fact that NYCFC is a smokestack. They call themselves the Pigeons. I mean, the Charlotte soccer team puts a crown on the head of the player of the match. Just lean into it. Have some fun. We all loved the Rally Monkey in 2002. We all loved it. The Yankees had that dopey pink car or whatever it was, the Cadillac in 96 or whatever. Lean into it. It's fun. Last year was a lot of fun because they won a lot of games. There was a lot of exciting moments also because we were having fun every step of the way. Rally Pimp, Seymour Wieners, like.
Oh, that's my guy. I was at that game. I was at that game when he got it. I said, what the hell is this? I thought it was a joke. I was at that game.
What about Giambi Stong, bro? You can't forget about that.
Oh, yeah, Giambi Stong. That's right. That's right.
A little insensitive. The little guy that Pedro brought around the locker room, back in the day. Little insensitive.
Little Petey.
Yeah. And not for nothing.
Today.
Yeah, not flying today. But not for nothing, too. I like Nikki Cass. Nikki Cass, big Yankee fan, who was a part of the Yankees opening ceremony. Nikki Cass, a TikTok, influencer. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Shout out to Seymour Wieners.
It's okay to have fun. The only thing I don't really care that the Mets have done. I could do without the dancers. I don't need the dancers. I could do that today.
Well, I got some news for you when it comes to that. I was supposed to dance with them last year if my back would have allowed me to. That is legit.
God.
If my back allows me to this year, I'm going to do it, and Gallo is going to be there recording it for me for content.
With my squirrel outfit
With the
on?
squirrel outfit, yeah.
With the
Gallo's
squirrel
gonna be in his
outfit
squirrel
on.
outfit.
Now, this can only end badly in that you attempt to dance with them and then your back gives out. While
Yeah, I
you're
know how to
dancing with
dance,
them.
bro. I'm Puerto
That's not
Rican.
what you do.
I got it in my
I'm not
soul, bro. I'm
saying
Puerto
you
Rican.
can't dance.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
saying you can't. I'm just saying it could go terribly and your back gives out while you're dancing.
Well,
Which is not what
I'm
I
not
don't wanna-
spinning on my head. I'm not spinning.
I don't want to hear about the bad back. The captain of the team, bad back, carrying the team on his back. Lindor hit a grand slam in the playoffs.
Hey.
Al, you could dust off the tap shoes and get out there and
Yeah,
dance.
you're right.
You know,
You're right.
this is what it would be. Willis Reed,
Oh,
Francisco Lindor, Al Cintron.
Bang.
Yeah, I gotta reach out. I reach out to Gina. She's the one who does part of dancing because my rant on the fan about it that they posted that video. That was the first video they posted on the Instagram page, and that went. And all the dancers saw it, and they all were like, "Thank you so much for the support." Like, because they were getting hammered for no reason. These are guys and girls trying to live their dreams. And I felt really, really bad the way they were getting slammed because they did nothing wrong. They caught a lot of strays last year for no reason.
Look, at the end
I'm
of
not
the
mad.
day, none of these gimmicks
Just
interrupt
win.
the baseball game. You're still watching the baseball game. It happens in between innings. It happens during breaks. None of this stuff is interrupting any of these games. So just, keep getting into it. And I'm pretty sure Steve Cohen is watching everything that's being said and being like, yeah, keep talking about us. Just keep talking about it.
Yeah, keep that same energy when we're hopefully a 90-win team.
But at the end of the day, none of it means shit if you don't win. If you win, that's what matters. And it's just win fucking games. That's all that matters. Now, Pete, I know you said, do we have to talk about the other team? And we can for a couple of minutes. The Yankees won opening day. Austin Wells hit a home run leading off for the Yankees. Tiki Bar predicted he would hit the home run for the Yankees, first homer. Shout out to Tiki. He nailed it. They played the Brewers. Hector said there was empty seats there, so I don't want any Yankee fans to ever clown the Mets again about empty seats. It's opening day. There was empty seats. Heck, since you were at the game, you could jump on in here with your smart-ass comments and your anime thong. How was the atmosphere at Yankee Stadium and the empty seats and the whole 9 yards?
First off, Al, I got to start this right, all right? All right? Thank God the world is back in order, all right? The Yankees win, the Mets lose, everything is right in the world. But no, there was a few empty seats. Shout out to you, Dexter. Shout out to you, Ant. Thank you guys for joining us. Dexter, my homie Cassandra, she does the dancing for both the Mets and she with the Knicks also. She's the one that she could get it up to like the top row with the Knicks. She throws the t-shirts and shit. Yeah. So she does the dancing with the Mets with the dance crew. So shout out to her as well. Listen, I'm one of those Yankee fans that I like to believe that I'm not in the bozo Yankee fans that Al pointed out earlier and you guys pointed out as well. I like to be objective and down the middle. I think that's because I grew up with a mom who's a Mets fan. So that helped me out a lot. But no, it was good, at Yankee Stadium opening day. Shout out to Keith. He was there. C-Mac was there as well. A few of the other guys from WFAN. It was pretty dope. Just being out there with the fans. It is what it is. I just want to apologize for those a-hole Yankee fans. I saw that guy with the Juan Soto sellout thing on the t-shirt, and I'm like, I literally told him, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, what are you, like, you're out here just trying to get content, which I get it, is your rage farming, your aura farming, as a young kid say.
No. Why do you buy a jersey with a name on the back of it? We all know that's not a real jersey.
Ooh, good point.
It's funny when I was with When I was with Ann at Spectrum, I told him when I was picking out my jersey, I would grab the judge with the name on the back, and I was like, if Al sees me in this shit, he's gonna fucking kill me. But no, it was a good showing. Shout out to Rodon. Los was on the mound. He pitched into the 6th inning. The Yankees starting staff, it's going to rely on Max Fried and Carlos Rodon, right? When you look at the guys that are missing out of that rotation, you got the ace Garrett Cole, you got Luis Hill, Rookie of the Year, and you have Clark Schmidt, right? The Yankees, we're going to rely on Carlos Carrasco. We're going to rely on Marcus Stroman, and we're going to rely on Will Warren for the first month of the season, the back end of it. All right, Al, go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
You mean Mets scraps? Mets junk? Mets garbage? Oh, that's right.
We do the same thing, right? I know you got the big ticket at Juan Soto, right? But you do the same thing. But no,
we got a Bentley and Juan Soto. You guys got jalopies.
No, you're right. But you got Clay Holmes, which I think, my guy pointed out in the chat, the starting pitchers are not stretched out right now. We all know that, like you said, Pete, the 70 pitch limit. You got to give guys an extra month to get stretched out. You don't want pitchers to have injuries this early in the season. You don't want injuries at all, but especially right now when the season starts. I'm just happy baseball is back, and I'm just happy the world is back because the Yankees win and the Mets lose.
Oh my God.
That's it.
I was gonna say some nice things because I gotta give Hector credit. Hector deserves his credit here. Hector, the night that the historic night for the Mets when they got Juan Soto, Hector, like the true man he is, I hit him up. He's like, Dex, I'll still come on with you and talk about it. I thought Hector might be somewhere crying. He might be out there burning a Juan Soto jersey, but he didn't do that. He came on. He talked to me about it. He said, we're gonna rise again. And, talked about the Yankees and I think the Yankees had a good offseason. I actually do think the Yankees had a good offseason.
Same.
But let me ask you a question. The question that we all want to know. Do you miss Juan Soto?
Yes, I miss Juan Soto, right? No, I'm gonna show you right now so you don't think that there's no name on the back of this jersey, all right? This is number 48 for Paul Goldsmith, right? It's an Anthony Rizzo jersey from last year. But Goldsmith has that number now.
Jacob DeGrom?
No, but listen, when it comes to Juan Soto, he's a generational talent, right? I said it when I was on with Ant. When you look at the Soto's contract, as a Yankee fan, it's a gut punch. We lose Soto to the Mets, our cross-time rival. But as somebody who's a Latino, as somebody who works in media with Latino sports, I recognize the Juan Soto contract. It sets a new precedent for the Latino baseball players going forward. We're used to Ozzie Alsby signing early, Julio Rodriguez, Fernando Tatis,
Jose Reyes.
All those guys would have hit free agency right now. They will get the back. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is talking about possibly getting a $700 million contract or a $500 million contract if he has a bad year. That doesn't happen if Juan Soto gets if he doesn't get the contract he got this offseason. So I understand the new precedent it gets. When I was on with Ann, I put that video out and I had some asshole Yankee fans commenting because that's about like 95% of Yankee fans. They're a bunch of a-holes from like Long Island and Staten Island who've never been in 5 boroughs. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I'm tired of these 19 and 18-year-olds at Yankee Stadium, drunk, don't know how to carry themselves or handle the alcohol, coming up to strangers. Can you buy me a beer? No, I'm not buying you a beer. What do you want?
Wait.
Did they boo Devin Williams? Was that real? They were booing Devin Williams?
No. I didn't see anyone. I was in right field when Devin Williams is out there for the 9th inning. I didn't see anyone boo Devin Williams.
It didn't come through the TV either when I was watching.
No, I didn't. No. They were more upset with like the umpires and stuff like that. Yeah. But no, not everybody was supportive of Devin. In my section, I can't speak for the rest of Yankee Stadium, but I know where I was at by the right field pole in section 109. They were good.
Pete, we love you. We love you, Pete, from Staten Island. Don't worry about it.
Sorry,
I don't have yes.
Jersey City guy now.
And
but you're not the a-hole that I'm talking about, Pete. You're the good one, you know.
Thank you.
I don't have yes, so I tapped into a content creator's live stream for the Yankee game, and obviously there were comments in there. Why do we get rid of Clay Holmes? Why have?
Oh my God!
Guy didn't even get one inning to just do his thing, and he ended up getting out of it. So
you got to respect the hate, almost though. You almost got to tip your cap sometimes. Every once in a while, you see something that's such a hate level, like a high level hate comment where you're like, I don't like it, but I'm almost gonna like tip my cat that you can be that much of a troll with a straight face. Like it's a beautiful art sometimes to see somebody say something so ridiculous and stand on it. Like how do you type that with your fingers and put it to the public? That's crazy. Every Yankee fan.
It's usually a faceless account.
Always.
Yeah,
It's what it is.
The huge problem is that position has probably the best closer of all time. And now you're looking for someone to be something like that. Like no one in baseball is ever going to have a Mariano Rivera.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're always it doesn't matter if it's Devin. Well, you can have an all-star closer, and it's not going to matter because if they blow a game, they're not going to be like Mariano Rivera in the postseason, and it's just not going to be the same.
There's only been, I'm real quick. There's only been one reliever or closer that's been able to take over for Mariano for one season and Yankee fans not complain. And that's back when Mariano hurt himself in Kansas City. And that was Rafael Soriano. When Rafael Soriano was here for that 1 year, he was fantastic. No Yankee fan was complaining about Soriano. I was just upset that they let him walk. I know he got that bag that offseason and never was the same reliever ever again. But he was phenomenal that 1 year he stepped in. My fault, Al.
No, it's all good. The one guy, like last year I was rooting for, my guy was Stanton. I wanted him to have a good season because all the shit he's dealt with. He had a great postseason again. This year, it's a guy that I feel like a lot of Yankee fans last season kicked to the curb. The last time you saw me hit a grand slam in the World Series, and he had a home run today, it's Anthony Volpe, because the same thing with Devin Williams and Mariano Rivera, Volpe's going to be compared to Derek Jeter, and guess what? You're not going to get that.
Yeah.
Yes, you just want a good player that can contribute every day. Not everyone needs to be an all-star. Everyone needs to be a Hall of Famer. Everybody needs to know their roles, and for you stupid fans, as The Rock would say, shut your mouths.
Well, Al, the same thing happened at the same position with Didi Gregorius. He was a good Yankee, and
he just slid in seamlessly.
Yeah,
he was awesome.
Love Didi.
He was a really good.
Love Didi, and I know my buddies who are Yankee fans right now are laughing because, like, I told them I was like, I love Didi so much. You could buy me a Didi jersey, and I would wear that shit. I love Didi.
Me too.
Al, I'm glad you brought up the Volpe thing because it goes back to what we said about Acuna. Yankee fans were writing this kid off in the offseason, and he goes up there and he gets the job done. I think that everyone seems to take the negative more than they take the positive. In the biggest moment of the season, he came through. His biggest moment, he came through. He wasn't one of the guys. I may be forgetting, but I'm almost certain he wasn't one of the guys who made a mistake in that fifth inning in the World Series defensively. He hit that grand slam. Like, he's Italian American, so like I always root for these guys. Also, like, I think, dude, he's a young kid, and I've said it a million times on here. We Yankee and Mets fans always want the young guys to play, and the second they show any inkling that they're a young learning player, we toss them to the scrap heap. We've done it forever, and I'm glad he started off well. Austin Wells, I'm glad he started off well because we all know if he struggled, they would be calling for his head. And the Devin Williams thing, you guys all like Hex joking when the Yankees won. That's when baseball back. Baseball was back the second a base runner got on, and all of Yankee Twitter was like, "It's over.
Panic.
This guy stinks. The beard is a curse. It's all terrible." Like, and I gotta be honest.
Now, the one thing that people were joking around in my section, this one guy was like, "Oh my God, the ghost of Clay Holmes is haunting us in the ninth inning." That's the one thing people were saying, and that was a bit funny.
Let me ask a question real quick because I want to hear what everyone thinks about this. Because the Yankees have about 5 players, in my opinion, who they're hoping for better than the back of their baseball card. Right? You look at Austin Wells, Jazz Chisholm, Anthony Volpe, and then Bellinger and Goldschmidt. Right. Obviously, Goldschmidt and Belly, different parts of their career. Which guy, if they do perform to that high level, to like the back of the or above the back of the baseball card, will make the biggest impact on this team? Like, which guy is the true X factor outside of Aaron Judge?
Cody Bellinger.
For me, it's Jazz.
Cody.
I got to go with Jazz on this one. I think it's Jazz.
For me, it's Jazz.
He gets out of Miami. I think even with him doing the little Soto shimmy today, I think he's now in a comfort zone in New York, and he's gonna fall right in. Paul Goldschmidt, I think he's on that last end of his leg of his career. If he could stay healthy, great. Cody Bellinger, I don't know if I buy into as much, but Jazz, I think it's Jazz for sure. I'm with Dexter on Jazz.
I was gonna say the same thing. When you look at Jazz, when you look at the other players that you mentioned, right? Cody Bellinger, if he just gives you 250, 260, what he did last year, that's a plus, right? If he was on the Yankees last year, he would have had the third or fourth highest batting average on the team, right? When it comes to Paul Goldschmidt, we know that he's up there in age. So any Yankee fan thinking that he's gonna have a bounce back MVP season, I don't think those expectations are warranted or should be put on him. But Jazz Chisholm, because he's young, because he's had all this talent, he has all the tools and all the talent in the world. Being taken out of Miami, being put in a situation with the Yankees around Aaron Judge. Sometimes you need to be around greatness because that's what Judge is. He's great. Also with Juan Soto last year, I think that rubbed off with Jazz Chisholm. Experience, there's no price or value you can put on experience. So him having a taste of the postseason with the New York Yankees, I know he struggled a little bit, but he did hit a home run. I think that experience is going to help Jazz Chisholm out. And when you look at his swing from this year and you compare it to last year, his path to the ball is a lot faster and it's a lot shorter than it was last year. Last year, he was suffering from like a very long bat, like Alfonso Soriano had back in the day, but he is very, very short and compact to the ball. I think Jazz Chisholm is going to have a phenomenal year. Jazz Chisholm and Lawrence Butler, to me, are going to be sleepers when it comes to knocking on that door of the All-Star game.
Yeah, I'm for a lot of the reasons you guys mentioned. I'm with Jazz. I just think he's in a place where he's comfortable now. It's crazy because I wouldn't have thought this about the Yankees. Like the Yankees are letting him be himself. The Yankees are letting him be himself. Right? Let's let that sit in. I think there's a lot about what he talked about that went down with him in Miami, and he just wasn't able to be comfortable. And I think it's just like any other workplace. Like the environment matters, and the guys you're around and how you're able to be. And I think he's free. And I just think he's such a spark plug. If his swing is right, as you mentioned, Hector, and he's getting on base and wrecking havoc on the base pads, which we know he has the talent to do, I think that stuff is infectious. I still love that kind of player. I love the player that can get on, Jose Reyes, one of my favorite Mets of all time, right? That can get on, wreck that havoc. I'm not saying he's Jose, but you guys get my point. I think that kind of stuff is infectious in the clubhouse, along with his energy that he just brings as a freer spirit. And he strikes me as a guy who, and Steve Serby, my colleague, told me this, he knows who he is. And he clearly doesn't care. Like he cares about winning. He doesn't care exactly about what you think. He just wants to be respected. And I think he's around guys that respect him in that Yankees clubhouse. And I think if he's happy, that's going to bode well for the Yankees in their lineup and him having a good season. So, yeah, he's the guy I think that's the big X factor for them. Who said Bellinger? Was it you?
Me.
You said Bellinger?
Me.
Oh, it was you. Yeah. You said Bellinger.
Former MVP. If he comes close to that Gold Glove outfielder, if he comes close to any of that, now Judge has his sort of Juan Soto type bat in that lineup that can take pressure off him. If he comes anything close to the MVP, that's why I think it's Bellinger.
Gallo, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was being self-conscious because Hector made fun of me for putting Chaps to go before.
No, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry, Gallo. I apologize. Sorry. It's my ADHD. Sorry.
No, that's great. So while you reapply, I'll jump in real quick with my thoughts.
Oh, shit.
Because I also love Jazz. I love what Jazz brings to the table. I think as Mets fans, we all had a different look of Jazz than Yankee fans. Because when the Mets played the Marlins over the years, even though when you saw his stats, they weren't the most impressive. When he stepped in the batter's box, you knew something could take place. And it could be bad for the Mets, right? Or good for the Marlins. So I think the Yankees are feeling that now, which is good. But I want to add this thought. In my opinion, the best case scenario for this Yankees lineup and for this team is if Anthony Volpe takes that leap. Because when the math starts working out, because I think you have a little more trust in Wells, a little more trust in Jazz, whatever, Bellinger, all that. But if Volpe's the guy who takes a leap, you can rewrite this lineup. And now all of a sudden, Wells could be right behind Judge. Now you could realistically put, the Volpe, Bellinger, Judge thing. If you want to put Judge at 3, you have so much more flexibility. You have that ability to make Wells the guy to be the cushion behind Judge instead of all these other, unknown that's going to sit behind him. Because if Wells is going to be your best hitter and you're batting first, the balance of the lineup doesn't make sense to me. So I do think with all the good things said about Jazz and Bellinger, if Volpe steps up, he could make this whole equation of the lineup work in a way that would be their ultimate peak, in my opinion.
Well,
Sorry,
and-
I'm rooting for Volpe. I hope he does well. The criticism that he caught last year, Volpe, he's a bust and whatever. We're quick to throw the kid in the trash. Like, you stop comparing him to legends. You cannot do that. He's his own player. He's got his own unique set of skills. Just let him. He can field. He can run the bases. He didn't have a 30-something game streak of getting on base last year, but we shitted on that too. Come on now.
Well, even Dominguez caught those strays after his first game.
Yeah. Yes.
And he made the
Really?
first error.
I
He
didn't even
caught
put
all
him
those
in that list. I
strays.
should have put him in there.
Well,
Well-
in spring training this year, you mean right, Ant?
No, last season. Didn't he?
Last year
Didn't he
when
get, like,
he
a
got
cup of
called up.
coffee?
Yeah.
One
And
game,
Yankee
he made an
fan-
error, and that was it.
Yeah, and Ant's right to bring that up because even
Yeah,
in the spring
that's fair.
training, Dominguez has had 2 highlights we saw that he struggled with the ball that happened at the beginning of March. He was fine. Like, I had Ricky Ricardo on with me a couple weeks ago, and he was like, everyone talked about those things, but then they never revisited it because he's making the routine plays. So why would you revisit it?
Of course not.
I don't think Goldschmidt's going to have a big year, but I think if he does what he did last year, it's an upgrade. The rest of those guys, I expect them to be big pieces. And I think Austin Wells, by the end of the year, is going to be a guy we look at and we say, he's one of the 3 best catchers, all-around catchers, two-way, defensive and offensive catchers in the league. And I think he ultimately has the biggest impact. Also, just to go back to Hector's jersey, my buddy sent me a picture of his Bernie Williams jersey with no name on it. Shout out to Miles.
Yeah, because I got a Hector because he had a Judge 99. Remember, I was like, I didn't know that at the time. I was like, listen, all you Yankee fans that claim to be fans with the name on the back of your jersey, you're not real fans, so your bootleg ass jersey.
They sold it in the team shop at George M. Steinbrenner Field, right? So I brought it from there. I didn't buy it from some random shop off of Fordham Road, all right, Papa? Okay.
Didn't a couple weeks, I don't know if it was a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, something came out on social media that this person tried getting a Yankee jersey that they put a special note saying only put 99, and they ended up putting only.
Oh no! This is legit. We gotta find this.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna go find it.
God!
And
I may have the words mixed up, but I feel like it was only 99.
And while we're on the topic, I've been trying to give the Mets money, and maybe it's a Fanatics thing. What's the deal? Can I get the blue jerseys and the road jerseys put up on the store already? Because I'm about 3 seconds away. Yeah, I'm about 3 seconds away from hitting DH gate and do it on my own. Going China, hitting the China store. Like, so Fanatics, it's
there
been
it
put
is.
out.
That's crazy.
My God! This is real.
Sneaky
This
fire.
is real. Only 99.
Look at that.
The only thing that was worse if it would have been fans after the only. That would have been that would have been a big time problem right there. You know what I'm saying? Only fans 99. Get
your mind out the gutter, Al.
I'm not even gonna take it there.
No, by the way, the Met jerseys, Gallo, you could probably go to the City Field shop. It's open. They probably got them there. You can get them customized.
The MLB store has them now.
Oh, they do have the new Met one
today. I didn't see
the one in Manhattan. I saw them with the graphic. They have the New York script jerseys. I don't know if they have the road grays, but I know they have the New York script jerseys. And I think Mets House has them maybe.
I might have to make a trip out there next week. I tried to stop by Mets House or whatever, but I got there too early and I had to get to work. So, I've been trying. Listen, I've been waiting. I've been not buying anything else because I was saving to buy this jersey. And you know what? Cohen's talking about, go to the park, buy the merchandise. Well, bro, talk to Michael Rubin, whatever his name is, the guy who owns Fanatics, and work some out. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it'll be there.
On the relationship between like Yankees and Met fans, or like the back and forth or the rivalry. For me personally, and I've had this conversation with you, Dex, and you, Al, and Ant. When both teams are good, when the Yankees and the Mets are good, it just makes being in New York City, having these conversations just so much better. Even when we decide to, I know like Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high. No, when they go low, I go low. I go all the way to the floor and underneath the floor, right? And it's good to have that banter as long as it's respectful. As long as it's a nice, respectful conversation going back and forth, that's good, right? It's when fans start taking it to the other side of things or crossing that line. When you involve in players' families, when you're you're involved in personal stuff, that's something that I can't get around. Like, there's a reason why Cliff Lee didn't sign with the Yankees back in the day, and that's because Yankee fans spat on his wife, right? So certain things like that gets on my nerve. When Yankee fans were messaging IKF's father with fake death, like that was, I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But they were messaging Brian Cashman's daughter about calling up Jason Dominguez. Like, what are you guys doing? So for you Yankee fans that are doing that, I don't claim you. I don't respect you. You're not in my circle. You know, for the Yankee fans that I run with, we try to be bigger than that. And that's why I think I get along with you fellas here on the panel.
Yeah.
There's been so much good to come out of Subway Series. You look at the, from 98 through 2000 and, 2006 and on. There's always been good banter back and forth. I think we have to get back to the glory days of the Subway Series being very prominent in New York.
Oh, it was last year. We swept the Yankees' asses. It was last year. We swept that ass. I remember that.
Like, I'm not somebody
I think the Soto element is going to help bring that in. I think that's going to bring a lot because there's going to be so much juice for these games. I can't. I'm actually so excited to be there for those. There's going to be so much juice for those games. It's going to bring it back because there's a new edge on both sides. Yankee fans want to show that they can win without Soto. They didn't need him. They didn't want him, as some of them will say. Those folks are lying. We know they're lying. But the Mets fans are trying to be like, yo, we took this guy. We're trying to show you we're the real team in New York. And listen, I think the Mets fans got to pump their brakes too on that. You got a long way to go before you are running things in the city.
Yeah,
right?
I don't get caught up in that big brother, little brother stuff. It is what it is. That's just.
And some Mets fans within the fan base have a complex about that, right? And I think for the Mets to elevate, Anthony and I have talked about this before. It's like you got to get out that mindset, right? Here's my attitude towards it. The Yankees are going to do what they're going to do. The Mets are going to do what they're going to do. When they meet, they play. We see how it is. That's it. And you know what we hope for again? Another Subway World Series. How dope would that be? That'd be amazing, right?
That was my point on my shows. That was the point of my shows. I said that I think the Yankees will do well. First of all, it's good for the station. If the Mets and Yankees are doing well, it's great for the station.
Right.
It's great. It's great for content. Look at football.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams have sucked for a decade for the most part. It sucks for the station. It's horrible for the fan bases. If we can get both teams in the Subway Series, I'll take it for the next 10 years. And if you don't want that, then don't root for a team. You're scared. You're scared little you-know-whats. I want 10 Subway Series in a row. I want to piss off the rest of the country and let it be all about New York.
We might kill baseball if we do that.
I had a preview of that Subway Series today with Yankee fans like saying F Juan Soto or chanting it while I was like walking through the stadium. That's the one thing they was doing. When I saw like the first group do it, I like laughed and chuckled, like, haha, that's funny. When I saw like the second and third group, it became like, this is starting to turn into that annoying Trae Young thing with the Knicks fans. And I agree. No, stop it. Just stop it right now. We haven't even faced the Mets and you guys are already becoming annoying. This is why I hate people.
Yeah, the first time that the Knicks fans chanted "fuck Trae Young" and he wasn't even there, I was like, all right, funny. Then it happens twice. I'm out. The second time was too much for me. That means he's got real estate in our heads, which he does.
I got one bigger than that, Pete. Leaving Citi Field in 2022. Yes, every time. Up the stairs every time, going up the 7 train. These idiots would do "fuck Trae Young" chants, and I said, "This is baseball. What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Yeah,
that just makes no sense.
I love pettiness. You guys know, like I just sometimes people think I'm a bigger Miami Heat hater than I am a Knicks fan. Like, fuck you, Pete. I hate the pettiness. I'm moisturized. All right, that's all I'm trying to say. But they I love the pettiness. I hate when listen. We just went through it with R.J. Lewis and St. John's. That is too far. That goes too far. I don't mind the fuck Juan Soto stuff at Met Yankee games. And I'm not really a big, I don't hate the Yankees when they're not playing the Mets. Like I'm usually New York over everything except for the Islanders. Like, but like I'm okay with some pettiness. It's okay, and this is more to Yankee fans. It's okay to say those games matter. You're not saying it because of the Mets. You're saying it because you're boys or the girls you hang out with, whoever it is, like the they thems, whoever it is. Like you're caring about those people. Like when I have people in my head. You know, my best friends. When the Mets beat the Yankees, that's the only reason why I care. It actually doesn't have anything to do with the Yankees. It has to do with like my best friends who are Yankee fans.
No, I get that, and that stuff should be fun, right? Like that should be fun going forward. Like I don't have a problem with the Yankee fans saying F Juan Soto, if they want to chant that during the Subway Series. I mean, I hope they say it, and I hope Juan Soto smacks a game-winning home run on their ass. I hope that happens too. Like that's, you know, and you should want it the other way. Or if you're Hector, you want to see Juan Soto strike out with the bases loaded. Like that's what makes this stuff great. This is why we watch. Al is 100% right. It is great for content, and we all here are part of content creation. It is great for business. You don't want this to be June and both teams are not competitive. You don't want that at all whatsoever.
2023 sucked.
No, you want what we had last fall, where it was every day wall to wall. And then how exciting was the offseason? Because that's the other thing, right? It's not just during the season. It continues into the offseason. These conversations continue, and we have these conversations, and they're really dope. And it's like, look, as long as people keep it baseball, that's fine. If Yankee fans or Mets fans are watching, you don't have to go to a game, and you don't have to get up in Hector's face or curse him out or try to fight him. When people do that stuff, like, what are you doing? What are we doing?
Or they say, meet me in section 314. You talked all that shit on Twitter. Just come meet me. I'm at 314. Let's get it going right now. And I always say, Francisco Lindor's not coming to bail you out of jail. Aaron Judge is not coming to bail you out of jail. Like, enough with the bullshit. So stupid.
I'm a grown adult. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, same. I'm too old.
Yeah. You know what's fun? Calling Jake Diekman a Mets legend for striking out Aaron Judge, and then a week later begging for him to be off the team. Like,
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Hector, I don't want
City sports. My fault. Go ahead, Ant.
Hector, I don't want to see anyone start grabbing, Soto in the stands when he's trying to catch a foul ball. Not like they did to Mookie Betts. All right, I don't want to.
Another
fan base. The classy fan base.
Perfect example of Yankee fans that I can't stand. Those
here's the funny thing.
Had their 15 minutes of fame. They went on ball stools. They did running around. I'm like, what do you guys do? And I get it, bar stool. It's like the fucking it's the frat boy of like the sports media world. I understand that, right? Not a fan of bar stool. Shout out to them for their success or whatever. But that is a perfect example of Yankee fans that I think gives a bad rep for the actual Yankee fans, right? Like when I go and hang out with the bleacher creatures and all those old heads, I love hanging out with them. Like they've been going to the Yankee games since like the 70s and 80s and stuff like that, right? So there's a lot of older Yankee fans that I like to hang out with. If those guys that you said that try to rip the ball out of Mookie Betts, those are guys that probably now they're banned. Now you can't go to was it worth it? I hope it was worth it because you ain't even monetize your TikTok.
Two things. One, bleacher creatures. That's not gimmicky.
Huh?
Bleacher creatures is not gimmicky.
Al, you're not gonna get an argument from me when it comes to the I want the gimmicks. Right? I want the gimmicks. I am for I'm just and then two, those fans, they did their interviews, they had their fun, and then only for those two just to be crying that we got banned. We need to please, this is not fair to us. Well, if your dumbass didn't go making a big mockery and have fun on it, guess what? You probably wouldn't have gotten banned. Instead, you're banned, you deserve to be banned. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well,
now
that's real quick too. I wanted to say, Malice at the Palace. I was on the Pistons side or the Pacers side. So if Mookie Betts would have turned around and swung on somebody, I don't want to hear you cry about a pro athlete whooping your ass. I don't want to hear about
no problem with that. None whatsoever.
Yeah, same.
Now, Dex, while I have you here before we go, I know you're a big diehard Knicks fan. What is your level of concern with what's going on with the Knicks right now?
It's funny. We just did a show on this. I'm not really concerned because I've accepted what this team was for quite some time. They're a very good team. They're not in the class of the elite. They're not OKC. They're not Boston. They're not Cleveland. They're flawed because they don't have bench depth. and I've been saying this all year long on my show. I've been saying it's more likely that they're better next year. I said this for you last time. I think me, you, and Pete were talking.
Yep.
It's likely that they're better next year than they are this year because they have depth issues, and it's gonna hurt them. Now, do I think they can give Boston a good series if they see them in the second round? Yeah. I think people might be underestimating the Knicks a little bit too much. I think they can give a good series. I don't think they'll win. I would not pick them to win. Wouldn't do that. Wouldn't put my money. Guys, do not bet your mortgage on the Knicks to beat the Celtics. I would not do that. That would be stupid.
Are you including Brunson in the mix with this? Because isn't he out hurt right now?
Yes. I'm assuming he comes back and is healthy. And
so are you saying that they are, even with Brunson in the lineup, that they can't beat those teams?
Yeah, I don't see it because I think depth is the big problem with it. It's with them doing. I think they can be competitive, and I think if you get that out of them this year and you see them competitive, I think that's fine. Now, I understand for some people they're going to say that's a failure. Another year they lost in the second round. I get all that. I see somebody here bringing up Tyler the creator code.
Yeah, I heard we heard him typing. That's our man in the upper right hand box over here.
I was just talking about this on the show. I do think Kolek's emergence as he clearly next year should be in competition for the backup point guard spot. He's such a good creator. The things he has to work on is the rest of his offense. He can't shoot that well right now, and his defense. If you watch the game last night against the Clippers, he had to start in the second half because Campaign got hurt, and the Clippers, rightfully so, hunted him every single possession. And, I turned to the person who was next to me, and I was like, yeah, they're hunting him every possession. So for a lot of the Knicks fans who's like, give Tyler Kolek more minutes, which I do think Tibbs should have probably given him more minutes early in the season. That's a whole nother story. These last 10 games, until Brunson comes back, this is a great opportunity for him to learn. That could bode well for him next year. Again, he's a guy. If you have him as your backup point guard next year and you trust him, that's huge for the Knicks because they could move on from Campaign, who's probably played himself out of his contract. That's money they could save. They could put elsewhere to add to their bench depth. They got to get deeper. That's the thing. They're going to need a couple of guys, another wing, another guy who can score and defend. Maybe it's Kelly Oubre Jr. leaves the Sixers. That could be a guy I would think about in the offseason. They got to get deeper. That's the thing. But I think year one, they changed 3/5 of their starting lineup. In year one, where they are, I'm okay with it. Are there? The defense has started trending a little bit better towards the end of the year. A lot of that has to do with Mitchell Robinson. But do I have confidence they'll beat Boston or Cleveland right now? No. Do I think they can be competitive? Yes. And again, I know a lot of Knicks fans are good. We do our live show and they're yelling in the chat like, "Oh, well, Dex, they got to do." It's year one of this new team. And it's fine. I know a lot of people want Tibbs gone. I don't think it's going to happen unless, like we talked about, Al, if they get swept by the Celtics,
they get smoked out.
If they look bad in the second round against the Celtics, then I think he's gone.
Well, Tibbs gets in trouble for overusing his players, correct?
Yeah.
Like if they had a bench, is it still the same? Like, is he's still going to use the top guys, or is he going to mix it all around?
Mix it, because last year he mixed it. He had a deeper bench last year and he mixed it.
Yes, and you've seen this before where he's mixed and played younger guys. The thing with Tibbs, I think, in developing the bench, more of the thing you could talk about, Ant, is that, okay, everybody knew if you were watching the Knicks going this year that they didn't have depth. You knew this, right? The question is, could Tibbs have given Tyler Kolek, Pacome Dadier, who they drafted, minutes against lower echelon teams? Could you find 5 to 10 minutes for them against the Wizards and save some guys? That's been my knock on Tibbs. It's not that I think he runs guys to the ground. I think he's been unfairly knocked on that. But it's like when you have a team that's not deep like they are this year, could you get guys ready? So if there are injuries like we're seeing right now, then a Tyler Kolek might have been a little bit more ready for the offense that was thrown at him yesterday. So a Pacome Dadier could be a little bit more ready. So that can help their development. We've seen Tibbs when he's trusted young guys. We saw it with Emmanuel Quickly. We saw it with Quentin Grimes when he trusted them. He played them as rookies. Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride. He's played young dudes. We've seen this. But this season when he's like, I don't know if I trust these guys, but could the bench have been a little bit more developed? I don't think it would have changed that much, just to be clear. But I think Tyler Kolek would have gotten a game like last night and would have said, okay, I know they're going to hunt me, and this is how I need to hedge, and this is how I can help OG on the weak side. And I think those things could have mattered in that. But the Knicks are listen, nothing's going to change that much, guys, in the last 10 games of the season. Knicks are who they are right now.
Yeah.
They just need to get to the playoffs healthy. They just need to get to the playoffs healthy. That's it.
Which is, I think people forget too that they are who they are, and that is the third best team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
right. But
the people who have been overreacting and saying all of a sudden they can't beat the Pistons in the playoffs, they can't beat the Pacers in the playoffs. That's the ridiculous overreaction that I think is going too far. They've never dropped down to the 7th seed. They're still 3.
They've been 3 pretty much the whole year. And they still have like the 6th best record in basketball. We're acting like they're bums. Not we, but you get my point.
Yeah.
There's a bit of overreaction there. And yeah, if you're the Knicks, now there's been the talk. And look, I've been having to talk about it in things I do. Oh, should they move out the 3rd seed? A couple of things. Tibbs is not wired like that. Athletes in any sport are not wired this way to lose and tank games at the end. Nobody's doing that, right? We've watched bad Mets teams or Yankees teams, and guys are still playing hard in September because certain guys on the team are playing for jobs, their livelihood. And the Knicks in this situation, we saw it last year with the Knicks. They played hard to the end. They won 50 games. They beat the Bulls on the last day of the season. And people were saying they should duck the Sixers. They didn't duck the Sixers. The Cavs tried to duck the Sixers.
So did the Bucks.
And the Cavs had a tough first-round series. The Bucks get bounced in the first round. The Knicks, who didn't duck the Sixers, beat them. And probably would have went to the conference finals if they were healthy, right?
Yep.
The Knicks are going to do the same thing here. They are not ducking the smoke. They are not worried about if you're a Knicks fan and you're worried about playing Detroit, that means you don't think the team's as good as you thought they were.
Yeah.
The team is the 3rd best team for most of the year. They've been a top 6 team for most of the year. They should beat Detroit. They should beat the Pacers. They should beat the Bucks. They're good enough to beat any of those teams. Do I think it'll be easy against all those teams? No. But should you be shaking in your boots or trying to? I just think it's a loser mentality. I don't like that. You play to win the game, in the words of Herm Edwards. You try to get as many wins as you can. You try to get the best seeding you can. Hopefully you're as healthy as you guys just mentioned as you can be going into the playoffs, and you let the chips fall where they may. If you start worrying about, you're disrespecting other teams. Don't disrespect the game. That's my thing. Don't disrespect the game in any sport. Don't disrespect the competitors, because a team might look at that and say, "Oh, you tried to do this just to play me because you think we're weak," and then they're playing at another level because they want to bust your ass, right? So, yeah, I think the Knicks. Look, am I concerned? That was the original question Al asked. My concern level with the Knicks is like a 4 or 5, somewhere in the middle. I'm not overly concerned. I think there are some things I like that they've been doing lately. The defense has been trending a little better. Bridges, who's had a down year and been disappointing, has looked a little bit better offensively.
OG's been amazing offensively. He's been very aggressive.
And I'm wondering if there's a conversation to be had. Is there another level to his game? Because we're seeing him more aggressive offensively. Is there another level to his game? This is why I like the core the Knicks have. There's some tweaks they have to make. I know nobody wants to hear it, but they're probably better next year when they're deeper than they are this year. But everybody wants tomorrow yesterday, so I get it.
I would say when it comes to the Knicks and the people that are losing their minds right now on the timeline, the fans that are just melting down, it's because we aren't used to winning. As Knicks fans, especially the Knicks fans my age over the past 20 years, we aren't used to being the 3rd seed, like Pete pointed out, March 27th, 10 games left of the season. We're not used to that. And the one thing that nobody has been using this year, or the phrase that they've been using, that been used for the past couple of seasons, is the Knicks are not playing with house money. We're not playing with house money. Teams are expecting us. Teams are hunting us down. I forgot who pointed it out earlier, but it was, the Knicks were the cute team that people used to root for because they were the sad
Gallo
story that people.
Yeah,
like Gallo bread. They used to, people made fun of them, and now everybody is annoyed with the New York Knicks. Now everybody hates the New York Knicks when it comes to being the new villain in the NBA. When it comes to the team and their health, it's going to rely on Jalen Brunson. It just sucks that this year we haven't had like a 2-week stretch with everybody healthy. With Mitch healthy, with OG healthy, with Jalen healthy, we haven't had like a full 2 to 3 week stretch to actually give a fair evaluation of this team so we can know what we need next year, right? So that's the one thing that I can say, that maybe in the postseason we have that 2-week stretch that we can actually evaluate this team with the pieces we had. It's just this year there's been a lot of injuries and a lot of people in and out of the lineup. Shout out to Tyler Kolek. He emerged, and the Knicks signed for a little bit Marjan Beauchamp, and I got excited. But I'm gonna go get me a Westchester Knicks jersey with his last name on it, because shout out, that's my guy.
There you go. One thing I will say is, I think you make a good point about the expectations changing, and the Knicks, the younger Knicks fan base, Knicks fan base, not understanding what it's like to be in this position. My thing is, do you remember where you were 5 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember where the Knicks were 5 years ago? And it's like, here's the thing, and I'm going to throw it back to baseball. Would you rather? I would rather, as a fan, be in a position where there's expectation. Are there more expectations on the Mets this year as opposed to last year?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. But isn't that what you want as a fan? You want to get to the point where you're expected to win. Now, some people will say to me, well, Dex, it's more fun when you're on the way up and you're the sort of underdog team that nobody expects. And I'm like, it's nice to watch it be built, but the goal is to win. Mm-hmm. The goal is to win.
You play to win the game.
Yeah, right? Yeah. The goal is you want to be at this point where you're saying, how good are we? Can we beat the Celtics? Can we beat the Cavs? Yeah. Okay, we're here, but how do we get to here? That's the beauty of watching sports. You want to see your team go from this level to this level. You want to see it build. You want to see them challenged, and you want to see if the guys can rise to the challenge. So, I think sitting around and saying, oh, well, now they're here. And something you said, Hector, I was going to say to that, because they've jumped to this position, that younger part of the fan base, I think they haven't seen team building. So they don't understand this point that they're at right now, which is, this is the hardest jump, right? It's one thing to knock on the door. Look at the Celtics, and people don't give them credit. The Celtics were knocking on the door for years. And they just made the jump, crossed it over last year. They just crossed it over last year. Right? It takes time to build. Most teams, the 08 Celtics are an anomaly. That rarely happens in sports, where you change a whole bunch of people on a team, and then it's like, boom, you win, especially in basketball. Very rare. But fans expect that, and it's like, because those fans haven't seen consistent winning with the Knicks. If you're a Knicks fan, you should enjoy this era that you're in right now, because what you saw 20 years before that was absolute garbage. So now you're threatened because you have some expectations. Like, enjoy the expectations. It could be worse.
Yeah. 5 years ago, I was arguing for Kevin Knox to get more minutes. That's what I was doing 5 years ago. Kevin Knox, the person we drafted ahead of SGA.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 years ago, I was arguing with Knicks fans that were saying Frank Ntilikina, Jimmy Fredette, and Ron Baker were the future, and I was like, get out of here.
Yeah, listen, or how about this? Is the thing I always say to Knicks fans too. Imagine if you were the Phoenix Suns right now, a team that's paid a lot to their stars, has expectations, and is fighting to get in the play-in. The Knicks have the third best record in the East, and some people act like the sky's falling. What are we doing?
The Philadelphia Sixers.
Right. Yeah. Teams that had expectations have fallen really short. The Knicks, they haven't even gotten to the playoffs with this group. And again, I just said I don't think they can beat the Celtics or the Cavs with the way they look right now. But you never know, and this is why we play the games. We just talked about it. Last May, Anthony and I were sitting here like, sell everybody on the Mets. It's a wrap. We don't need to see anymore. We've seen enough. We're disgusted. And look at what happened. That's why we play the games. This is why we love sports. We talk about it. We watch it. This is exactly why.
Al, I thought you were drinking chicken broth for a second there, Al.
No, it's
SpaghettiOs.
Lactate.
Hey, there you go. Good for the tummy.
That's old man milk.
Breast milk, you make my day.
No, that's Cambodian breast milk. Make my day. No, I'm lactose intolerant, man. So I keep it a buck. It is what it is.
Yeah, you gotta keep it healthy.
With some vegan chocolate chip cookies.
Look at you eating healthy.
Hell yeah.
So Al, you're not going to get the cookie bucket, the hot cookie bucket from Citi Field?
That looks dope.
That looks good.
I am gonna, but I will bring some lactate pills with me. Yes, I'm going to try that. I'm not gonna front because if I don't bring the pills, I'll be mudsliding in the 500 bathroom somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. He definitely gonna have to wash his ass, Pete, after that. After that shit.
every definitely. Who's gonna be at opening day, by the way, for the Mets? Before we go,
When is that? What day is that next week?
Next week,
Isn't it?
Friday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it's next
Friday.
week Friday. I'm supposed to be there.
I'm supposed to be there for work, so I'll be there.
I'm
Yeah.
at the fan at midnight, but I don't know.
it's a 3:00 game.
Well, listen, I got a job during the day, got a job at night. Tough out here, bro.
I heard you're gonna have the neurovirus that day. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to help you out. And you, Ant, you going or no?
I will not be there for this opening day. The only game
Yeah.
I think I have is right now is the David Wright retirement game, but I will sprinkle in some games throughout.
You didn't buy a package this year?
No. You know, babies on the is here. Had to let that go. As much as I wanted to keep it.
We'll figure it out then, because we usually do a lot of day ofs. The tickets are cheaper, so we'll figure out. We all catch a game and sit in the 500 section up top, and it's all good.
Absolutely.
So
Let's go. Can't wait.
So next show we'll do the whole quarterback situation with the Jets and especially with the Giants, because I'm fascinated by that. There you go, Pete. I'm very fascinated by it. I'm loving every. Yeah, look.
What are we doing?
Listen, Pete, get ready. Listen. The Kansas City Chiefs, they may have Taylor Swift, but we have Ciara. All right, I'll take Ciara all day over Taylor Swift.
Everybody get on the floor.
Me too. So a lot. I'll say real quickly. I don't want to really get into the football, but all the stuff that's happened with the football and the quarterbacks here in New York has pissed me off, because it looks like my Steelers are going to have to be put up with that guy. Guy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Parts of that guy. No parts of him.
Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers. Hey, I got Jaden Daniels. I got nothing to complain about. Hey, what's up?
God.
All right, listen up. Thanks for everybody joining the show. To the Met fans out there, I think the season is over. You already know how I feel about you. Kiss my ass.
162, right?
I mean, come on, give me a break. It's the first game of the season after a magical season last year. Shut the fuck up, please. Just
15 more years of Soto.
I can't. Come on, man. Soto's a bust. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your week. I'm on the fan. Sunday, 1 to 6 a.m. Anybody got anything to plug real quick?
Look out, everybody. There is I'm not going to say who, but an interview that'll be dropping I have on Saturday. That'll be pretty big. That's around the Knicks that I think fans will like. We're going to tease it tomorrow. You'll find out. So stay tuned to that. New York got game. New episode Monday. Should be a good one.
All right.
It's James Dolan, right?
Yeah, James Dolan sitting down with me. That'll happen. Yeah. I have a lot of questions for him, though. I can't say that. I got a lot of questions for him.
Yeah. Next, we're going to have the one-on-one interview with JD and the straight shots. Go ahead, Pete.
He just got the straight shots. He got JD.
No. I got a LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith sit down one-on-one. That's what's coming up.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that. I'll plug Subway Sports Talk as always. That's my podcast. Got a big Met Yankee preview out there as well. I'll be hitting more basketball and football on Subway Sports Talk, Apple Podcast, Spotify, the whole 9, YouTube, always TIO Al Friends as well, of course. Thursday night.
Yeah. Gallo.
As always, hit me up on the socials. My YouTube page, Anthony Gallo, is official YouTube, very original. Also, check out WFAN either tomorrow or Saturday. Bigger than James Dolan, bigger than LeBron. I've got Dax McCarty of the MLS Season Pass. I'll be doing an interview with him, so check that out.
Yes. Dax. Yeah, he's
wait, real quick. Giants country. Let's ride.
Oh my God.
Oh God. Anthony, you want to plug?
I got my season preview for the Mets out on Subway to Shea. I got a recap coming up this Sunday at 10 live. You can join in on the chat for this Astro series. And then I got a couple interviews coming out throughout the week. I have Chef Adam Richmond, because I was at the What's New at Citi Field. He'll be coming on. And I did a panel this past weekend with Doc Gooden. So that'll be coming out. That'll be
nice.
episode 200 of Subway to Shea in about 8
shout
episodes.
out.
Can't wait for
Shout
that
out.
one.
Nice.
Dope. Yeah, that's going to be dope. I can't wait for that one.
Heck, anything you want to plug us? Not anime.
Yeah, well, be on the lookout. Me, Pete, and Gallo, we're gonna start an anime and Marvel podcast to make Al upset. But no, guys, just make sure you guys follow. Yes, Guardians of the Galaxy. My Digimon posters are too far away for me to grab. I would grab my Digimon posters. He is. No, just hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Gallo. Make sure you guys check out Latinosports.com. We have our Latino Sports MVP award coming out. That's a dope one, Pete. Right there, I love that movie. That was one of my favorites growing up.
Put that. Is that the vinyl?
That's the
Vinyl.
soundtrack,
He got
right?
by Public Enemy. How about it?
Fire.
I'm a vinyl collector now. I need to get that. That's dope.
I got the Coach Carter vinyl as well. Fire.
Dope.
Fire. Yeah, just guys, make sure you guys check out Latinosports.com. We got our Latino Sports MVP award. Major League Baseball is really pushing it. We had for the first time this spring training, Major League Baseball was having their beat writers ask questions around the Latino MVP award. So that's real big for Major League Baseball jumping on and supporting us. This Sunday, we'll be interviewing Jack Centurio, who will be winning the Rookie of the Year with the National League at Yankee Stadium. So if there's anybody at the stadium this Sunday, make sure you guys hit me up, shoot the DM. I'll be at the stadium working media with Latino Sports.
Fire.
Nice.
All right, so everybody's plugged everything. Great to have you guys on. I'll see you guys on the Fan Sunday, 1 to 6 a.m. Wake your asses up, and as always,
Wash yes.
Oh my God.